Hey folks, welcome to round 2. Yeah, we're on the draw again, but this is definitely a keep. A bit heavy on lands. We have a brainstorm with Delver, the Dominus. Let's just hope our opponent isn't coming out of the gates too strongly. Oh, that's not a good matchup, but let's see how we can do. I'm definitely not gonna care about stuff like them having random wasteland in the deck or something. So Bloodgas, Bridge, and Vengevine are all valuable hits for them. Yeah, they get their Bloodgas back. Not to see if I have to daze aggressively here. No, definitely not gonna daze that. Just thinking about them playing like 2 creatures, maybe then I have to get aggressive on the first one, so they don't get the Vengevine back this turn. But yeah, this is already looking like a very tough battle to win. Basically, from this point on, we need everything to go according to our plan and not theirs. I flipped 2 more couple therapies. Luckily, nothing else like a second bridge or like Hogak or something could be a lot worse even. So they're either naming days when they've got me crushed or. Yeah, that all works. Probably hitting the brainstorm then. Oh, the days, okay. Like a days is a reasonable name for them if they want to win even harder this turn. But I don't know what. I don't think there's much I can do in this game. I can now hit either of these. Generate 1 more zombie token, and then they have 6 power. I have 1 card in my hand, and they still have all their stuff in their graveyards. This is generally not the best matchup. I'm also not too heavy on graveyard hate in my sideboard, so let's see if we can get away with 1 here. But I have my doubts. What do we get? A Brainstorm. I'm definitely going to cast that. See what we find. So force a will for like their Hogak or one of their creatures. So I'm definitely gonna put back the Volcanic Island, not the Flooded Strand. Don't really need Shroud, but it's nice to have it around. I guess if I'm shuffling, then I'm not wishlanding this turn, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Let's see. If I cloud this up, I attack for 4. Yeah, we have so specific cards to raise this already. But my out still is to raise them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ponder and just see if I can get like a Sprite Dragon going. So with this, I can keep the Dread Arcanist, but then I'm not clouding it up immediately and going swinging for the fences. These forces are also not doing enough. I want to see if there's a chance I can raise them. There's really no reason to keep the Delver back there. It's nice to remove their bridges, but at this point they already had a lot of power from them into play, and they can also do like any shenanigans they want to do before combat, so it doesn't really make sense to keep it there. Okay, let's see what they hit up for their altar. Hogak. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I can force will the Hogak. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. They might not be able to play it twice here. Oh, they get that blood gas back again. They're probably going to be able to play it twice. Yeah, do your thing. Another Hogak. So now they have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 resources. So they can definitely play 2 Hogaks. Yeah, there's no way I'm erasing this. Okay, opponent, you got there. Here's this your supplier, hit real things. I couldn't counter it. I'm glad that the Hogak isn't that popular of a deck anymore. When Delver, especially Rug Delver, was really big, Hogak got popular, but it got Snow has a pretty decent matchup against it, so I'm definitely gonna board it in my graveyard to hate the bit that I have. The Carcass and maybe a Braids for some stuff, or the Mill Rod. Other than that, I don't have too much. I could use this to kill one of my own creatures and sweep their zombies, so might be good enough. But I'm mostly just hoping to counter their early enablers, which is basically what Force of Will does and Daze does. Force of Negation isn't too great, but it does something. Bolts help with the reach, but I don't need too many of them. I like having as much flyers as I can. Dreaded Arcanist is a way to run away with the game if I do counter their early stuff. Don't think I'm too high on Force of Negation against them. And then I'll get rid of a Clout or a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I probably just have to get rid of the Clouts. Probably just not good enough. And I don't think the mana base they have at the moment has a green in it. Yeah, I don't want to look it up. I'm not sure what variant they're on at the moment. Could be that I have to board and submerge, but we'll see. First, let's try to tempo them out for this game. Try and see if we can win on the draw. Yes, I would like to play first. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, this is a keep. It's not a great keep. Like, Surgical is so-and-so against them. I don't have a 1-drop. I do have a couple of 2-drops that are decent. I do think there's a reasonable chance to Brainstorm end of turn here. So I can go Dreadhorde Arcanist into Dorat, attack with Arcanist Brainstorm. I can't do that with my 3 lands now. So. Fateless Looting. Yeah, I don't want to daze this here. So I think I'm gonna let this resolve. Maybe boarding out the Force of Negations that I did kind of in a... Yeah, I don't know how much stuff they have. Was a mistake, but... yeah, I'm definitely gonna Brainstorm end of turn because of what I said in my mana situation. Don't think I need the Lightning Bolt next turn, and I'd rather have a Force of Will in my hand. And I'll just put like land on top. I could wasteland them here, but I really want to get my 2 and 2 mana plays going, and I have Force of Will for their plays this turn. So I'm just gonna go Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then next turn wasteland them, get the attack in with the Dorat and Dreadhorde Arcanist. There's chance that I have to Surgical before I Dorat, because if they play 2 creatures, I basically have to Vengevine. If they don't, I'm gonna wait as long as I can. I do have a Lightning Bolt here, which is interesting, because I could also kill both of their mana sources, which is probably better than getting Dorat online. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. Like, I think getting the pressure on is very important, but setting them back to like 0 lands is even better. Now I have I can either preordain or brainstorm. I do think getting my mana out this turn is good. And now I'll just keep both of these on top. So having more blue cards, but also the days. Here we're going to preordain again. This looks like a game we're likely to win. I don't think I particularly need the second lightning bolt. So I'm going to bottom that and just keep another blue card. So I have those days and force will up without needing to pitch my Dorad. And now we have this going, but also have the Dorad to put on the pressure. And I think this is over pretty quickly. And it looks like they agreed. Now on the draw, I think normally like against a deck like Dredge, you want all your counters, since you just have to disrupt them as much as you can. This deck has a lot more cheap ways to enable other stuff. I do want Force of Negation, especially on the draw, since then my days get less good. Like now I got to snipe their Dryad Arbor with my Lightning Bolt, but I don't think in general they're very good. But I also don't really want to cut my daisies, since they have a couple of 2 mana spells. Maybe I just trim on this. Do it like this. Like I really want my cantrips to find my my graveyard hate. I really want to have my creatures so I can close out the game. They did have a Dryad Arbor as a submerged target, but don't think that's enough. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I should just have swapped the submerge with a lightning bolt. Since when it does work, it's just so much better. Even if it's often just turned off, then we can still pitch it to the forces. Yeah, it is definitely another keep. The previous hand was definitely better, but it's a 2-lander with threats, forces, and a surgical. I'm not gonna mulligan this. So I hope I don't get like couple therapy together with some value creatures. I like these kinds of hands a lot more against more aggressive decks. So I think I let this resolve. I think it's a lot less important against Hogak than against Dredge, to just not let them get stuff into the graveyard. Here I am going to preordain just to see what I'm going to draw for the next couple of turns. Land is okay, but I'm definitely going to bother these two. And fine, land. Yeah, I don't think I want to do anything here. If I go double creature, I can surgical the Vengevine. If they get other enablers in there, we'll see. So now it gets a bit more tricky. But they did already make their land drop. So I'm a little less scared of like Bloodghast. They get a Force of Vigor and a Vengevine in there. Another Faithless Looting. Yeah, I'm gonna let them do this. It's kind of tricky to just let them play all these cards, but they're going down on a card every time they do this. And with most of these cards, I still have the option to interact with them when I want. It does get interesting to think about surgicaling their Faithless Looting. But there is a reasonable chance that they have to fetch next turn. And if they just drop a 3rd land and fetch, then I'm definitely surgicaling it. But otherwise, I really want to keep my options open, I think. Is that true? It's just good enough? No, yeah. If they spend their turn Faithless Looting for 3 mana, I think that's fine with me. I think this I want to counter. I just don't want them to get creatures into play, which is I think the most important thing here. I have some small amount of pressure in play already. I'm just keeping the creatures out of their out of play is the most important part. This is cast, right? Yeah, so I would have to keep up my surgical for that. So now they do have 3 mana for sure for their Faithless Lootings, but I think I can put up enough pressure that them spending their turn casting Faithless Looting is just not good enough for them. And I think their draw would be a lot more scary if they had Bloodgust. But since they don't, there isn't too much they can do at the moment. Hedron Crab. That gets really rough when they do have a land in their hand. Since that's both a creature and a way to get stuff into the graveyard. It isn't black or green, so it doesn't cast Hogar. They might just not have a land anymore. I'm gonna... Like, they get... If they have a fetch land, which is like the best thing they could have, they get 6 cards milled. But then they're hellbent, so... It's not a zombie. It doesn't cast other stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna let them resolve this as well. They get another bridge. They still don't have a... Couple therapy. Okay. I'm getting quite lucky here with all this stuff, but I guess that's what you have to do to win this matchup. Not saying I'm winning it for sure, of course. Okay, so I'm just gonna preordain, see what I find with that, and maybe surgical pre-damage on like I don't know what, like it's very tough for them, like unless they top deck a zombie and I can't counter it. They're not gonna get a double creature next turn. I think I like having both of these on top. And yeah, there's just nothing they can do with what they have. So I'm gonna preordain. And probably play another Dread Arcanist. Yeah, they're not gonna play multiple creatures next turn. Multiple cards I want to counter, I mean. So I'm fine with just having 1 force this turn. Like force and surgical just still cuts off most of their stuff. And then next turn I'm gonna hit them so hard it's gonna be really hard for them to come back. As long as I keep zombies out of their battlefield, I think it's good for me. So that would let them sacrifice the Hedron Crab to mill. So I can either get rid of their bridges, but that's too risky, I think. I think this is where I draw the line and force will. It looks like they give up. Yeah, so basically it was for me try and choose my spot where they get their first like actual enabler down, like either a zombie so they can cast multiple creatures, or like something that mills too much but also does other stuff. In this case, the Hedron Crab wasn't worth a counter, and a lot of the other stuff like the Faithless Lootings were also just not doing enough. Mostly because they played after playing a land almost every turn, and that means that I can't really get got by like them dumping Bloodgast and playing a Wasteland. If they didn't do the ordering like that, it's a lot more likely that I have to be a lot more aggressive with my counters. But since they didn't, I just mostly made their land drops first. This was a bit easier for me. Okay, see you folks in the next round.